Hey guys, Kurt from Time Machine Transport. I haven't done a video in a while. I am in the Rockies. At this little shithole truck stop that was closed last night. But hate's a strong word. So let me tell you what I really dislike. I dislike shitty coffee. I dislike really small people's showers and a shitty shower at a truck stop, which I had this morning. But Chinaman once said that a bad shower is better than a no shower. And I dislike guys that wear their chains on the outside of their shirts. And especially those who wear their chains outside their sweaters. But what I really dislike most is running out of fuel in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I had a day from hell yesterday. Not only did I run out of fuel, I'll tell you guys a story. It's pretty humorous now. So, I pick up in Lovell, Wyoming. This is the second time I've hauled these. This one needed to be tarped for some reason. The last one I did was out of Nevada up to a gold mine in Colorado up in the Rockies. About 15,000 feet elevation. It's pretty high. This is going to Ely, Nevada, ELY. When I picked up, I was pushing myself like I always do. ELD Unplugged, and I delivered over in Bozeman, Montana from Texas, Seguin, Texas, which was a load from hell. And instead of unloading Tuesday, I got unloaded Wednesday, and then I found another load that I thought, well, initially I wanted, but then it got off the load board, so I kind of lost it. Well, then it came back on the load board, this load, and so I was like, right on. Well, I also had booked another load that I was supposed to load on Tuesday after I got unloaded in Bozeman, loading over in Phoenix, or loading over in Missoula, going down to Phoenix, delivering lumber, tarp load over to Phoenix at a Home Depot. But then they couldn't unload me Tuesday, so they unloaded me Wednesday. Long story. So the load, it was a load from hell, except for this one, or besides this one. So I've been out now 2 weeks. And everything's been going pretty well, minus yesterday. So I figure I'm going to pick up in Lovell, Wyoming, going over to Nevada. And I'm going to do that Thursday, I'm sorry. So I picked up Thursday morning, Wednesday night I picked up in Lovell, Wyoming. It's only 700 and some miles over to Nevada. Paid $3,000, so it's a great paying load. So I figured, well, shit, instead of just waiting around for Friday now, because the broker called me and said, hey, listen, Missoula's going to load on Friday now, delivery in Phoenix on Monday. They changed the schedule. So, like, right on. So instead of waiting around after Wednesday and just twiddling my thumbs at a truck stop, I want to roll out and make money. That's why I'm out here. I'm not out here to have fun. Who doesn't like to have fun at their job? Like your job, love your family and friends, right? But I figure, well, I'm going to go ahead and pick up this load. I deadheaded from Bozeman, Montana over to Lovell, Wyoming. I get over there. It takes them a while to load me. So I got the ELD unplugged, and I'm going to run until about midnight-ish and shut down at a truck stop somewhere. And I put the coordinates in, not on my trucking GPS. People don't realize that when you drive semi, you have a regular GPS like people have on their Google phones, and then you have a trucking GPS. A trucking GPSs, they get you because they get truck drivers on everything, fuel and food and shit in the truck stop and this and that. Apportion plates, IFTA, quarterly taxes, HVUT taxes every year, which is heavy vehicle usage tax, the Fed. So anyway, everybody's in your pocket. So anyways, so I figure I'm going to pick up, run, do whatever, and then I'm gonna shoot down here. So I don't put the coordinates in my trucking GPS, which Wrong. I should have did that. I also didn't check my atlas like I normally do to check my route. Kurt, you're wrong again. So I was in a rush, and I totally screwed myself. So before I leave out Lovell, Wyoming, I'm a boogie from around 6 p.m. till about midnight, and then I'm gonna move my clock back, and I'm gonna start over, and then I'm gonna push through and deliver this load to Nevada, and then get unloaded yesterday afternoon. My appointment was for 3 p.m. and I had to make it, or else they weren't going to be able to unload me. So if I don't get unloaded, that means I'm going to screw the broker on the Phoenix load, and it's a new broker, and I didn't really want to do that. So I'm boogieing, and I topped off my tanks right before I picked up in Lovell, Wyoming. So I figure, well, this load's about 43,000 pounds. I got two 100-gallon tanks, so diesel fuel weighs about 7 pounds a gallon, so that's about 14 extra 100 pounds. So I'm like, well, I'll pick up by the time I hit the high ground. I'm not, pushing an extra 1,000 pounds up the hill. So I'll push an extra 400 or whatever. So anyways, I figure, well, once I get over there, I'll go ahead and top off the tanks, and then I'll boogie back over to Missoula to pick up the Phoenix load. But I don't. So this is what happened. I'll tell you, I've done a lot of stupid shit in my time. I've run out of fuel one other time, and that was with my brother Mikey when I was training him to get his CDL when I drove for this Russian. And while I was in Wyoming, he wanted us to specifically fuel at Petros and TAs because he got a big discount. So there's a Petro truck stop on I-80 in Wyoming at mile marker 310. So I'm running low on fuel. So we go to get off, and they got the exits both ways blocked off. They have a fatality on the off ramp on the eastern side of the freeway. So even if I get off, if I can't go over the bridge that goes over the interstate to go to the Petro, because they got all that quarantine or shut off because they're investigating the fatality. So I go to the Flying J there, and it is backed up. They're out of fuel because everybody, instead of going to the Petro, is now going to the Flying J because they can't access the Petro. So I tell my brother, I'm like, we should have just enough fuel to get over to Rawlins, Wyoming. Wrong. I literally ran out of fuel on I-80 going westbound, and Rawlins at the TA there is at exit 214. And we ran out of fuel, and we could literally see the TA from where we were. It was about a mile away, and it was cold, windy as fuck, so on and so on. So that was and I won't get into detail. It's not pertinent to the video. So anyways, actually I will, because it's kind of funny. So my brother, he's like, what the fuck are we going to do? So I called the Russian and tell him, hey, listen, I ran out of fuel, blah, tell him the situation. He's cool with it. So he's like, well, I'll call a roadside service. So they had a lot of bad accidents over there, and I guess a lot of other people were running out of fuel. So they said they were not. So I call another place while he's trying to call another place. And I call the TA because they have roadside service. Excuse me. And so anyways, I called TA, and she's like, well, we'll probably be able to get to you tomorrow. And I'm like, tomorrow? I mean, it's going to be like 30 below zero tonight, man. We'll be dead by tomorrow. So anyways, we're contemplating walking the mile just to stay warm because it is fucking cold. Anyways, we were able to get a roadside service guy a couple hours later and topped off, and we headed out. So that was the only other time I ran out of fuel in my years of trucking. Well, because Kurt Sabella is not very bright at times, or just I'm pushing myself too much. So this is how this load went. I know I'm kind of jumping around. I apologize, but it's like I said, it was a crazy day, man. So I'm an idiot. So I leave Lovell. I punched the coordinates into my regular Google GPS on my tablet because it's a big screen and I can see it on my dash because I have I don't know if you guys have ever seen it or not, but anyways, it's right there on the dash. So I can see it when I'm driving, and it's a big screen or so on. So I just put it in there. Well, the address was 8989 West Highway 50, Ely, Nevada. or Ely, Nevada, however you want to pronounce it. Well, the address comes up. I don't check it. I just see that it pops up right away, so I hit start. And it starts my coordinates. I'm rolling, and I'm like, man, but it's nighttime, and I'm like, well, I know I'm going to be going through high country or whatever, but I know as long as I'm heading south and west, I'm good. So I'm heading south, and then I before I started heading west, I stop at this truck stop and I go to sleep. Well, then in the morning, I wake up around 4 and I start rolling again, and I'm following the coordinates, and I'm tired pushing it. I'm worried about getting unloaded because I don't want to screw this other broker, and I'm not paying attention. So it takes me over to I-25 southbound, and I'm like, am I really supposed to be going this way? I'm like, all right, nope, Kurt's in a rush. Don't fucking check it. Next thing you know, I'm down by Denver, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, this makes absolutely no sense. And then I see it's going to take me down to Highway 50 off of 25, I-25, and I'm going to be heading west. So I'm like, all right. And I'm driving, so I'm not paying attention to how many miles are left. And I'm like, shit, man, it still doesn't make any sense. No, Kurt doesn't pull over and check everything. Nah, don't. That's the easy thing to do. So I'm on Highway 50, and I'm going through the southern part of the Rockies, and I don't like coming up in the Rockies, even in the summertime, because it's slow, and if you're heavy, which I am, I don't like coming up into the Rockies, especially in the wintertime. So and mind you, I'm seeing all these digital signs that says, be prepared for winter weather, winter storm coming Friday through Sunday. And I'm like, holy shit, man, I got to get out of here before this weather hits, because you do not want to be up in the Rockies if it's snowing. I've been up there when it's snowing, and it's fucking dangerous. I've had a chain up there in Eagle Pass. It's dangerous. So anyways, and if anybody knows anything about, or if you don't know anything about trucking, you have to carry tire chains, right? And if you're on an interstate or a road or whatever, and you see a sign that's calling up for mandatory chain up law, if you don't chain up and you get stuck or you cause an accident, you are in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. And if you go through a DOT inspection and you don't have chains on your truck, I think it's from September to April, I think, is the chain mandatory. You must carry chains on your trucks during those months for the winter weather. Now, if you don't have chains on a DOT inspection, you're going to stay there until you get chains. They'll put you out of service. And you're going to get a citation. Again, into the trucker's pockets. But there's laws and regulations, man. Just like your ELD. You can't unplug your ELD. So, but anyways, but I'm always legal when I roll. So, anyways... I want to boogie and whatever, and I'm as I'm on Highway 50, and I'm just like, now I'm like, man, it just does not make sense. Does not make sense. All of a sudden, I see that I'm like, literally like, and whenever in a trucker's GPS, when you're about to cross state lines, it bings on your trucking GPS, and it says 5 state line border, 5 miles, and then it ticks down 4 miles, 3 miles, so on until you hit the state border, and then it goes into the next state. So I'm seeing that I'm like 8 miles out, and I'm like, this does not make sense. And then the 5 miles comes, and there's no ding on the GPS, and I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. So then it says I'm at my address at 8989 West Highway 50, but I'm in Howard, Colorado, not Ely, Nevada. And I've said this in other videos, know where you're at all times, know where you're at. Don't be a dumbass like me. And if your gut tells you something's wrong, then something's wrong. So now I'm in panic mode because I already know that I haven't topped off at the 24 truck stops that I pass, because typically when you get fuel at a truck stop, it's between 15 and 25 minutes. Well, I have to make a 3 o'clock appointment, and my GPS is saying that I'm going to be there at 3:05. So I'm already 5 minutes behind, And I got to get this load off because I got to pull the tarps. I got to fold them. And these are 8-footers. So these are about 100 pounds a piece. So they're heavy tarps, especially for an old big guy like me. So anyways, so I go back in the GPS, not my trucker's GPS. Well, no, actually, no, I did go into the trucker's GPS, and it says I am 500 miles away from my delivery. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man. I went 500 miles out of my way. There is definitely a first time for everything. Definitely a first time for everything. And I've been becoming very complacent when it comes. I'm definitely thumping my tires every day religiously, but I'm not really doing my post trips like I really should be. And I'm not checking. I'm just fucking shooting from the hip, man. I'm just haphazardly just going to my destination, and it's my own fault. So anyways, now let's get to the good part. That's not even the good part. So now I'm frantically looking for a truck stop. And I got to back up. So when I get to Howard's, Colorado, and now my GPS, the regular Google GPS is still telling me I'm at Ellie. And I'm like, I am not here. What the fuck is going on? So that's when I turn on my trucking GPS and find out. And the regular Google is telling me that I'm here. I'm like, dude, I'm not here. I'm like, what is going on? So anyways, so I had to restart my tablet. That was the problem. So now I'm frantically looking for a truck stop because I know that I'm heavy and I'm going up through the Rockies. Now I've already climbed some hills, but I'm like, I got to find me a truck stop or I'm going to run out of fuel. So I'm looking, nothing. Oh no, I'm sorry. So I back up. So when I put the coordinates back in the GPS, when I stop, I shut the truck off and I'm sitting there and I'm literally screaming at myself, you fucking dumbass, blah, how could you do this? What is wrong with you? Of course, I'm in panic mode because now I got to explain to not one broker, but two brokers. One, I'm not going to pick up your Phoenix load, and two, I'm not going to deliver your load today. So now, and they were both cool. They were extremely cool because Time Machine Transport, we're a good company, man. We don't fuck around, and we have a perfect CSA score, and we only deal with good brokers. So, and they were really cool because they were brokers that we've done business for before, and they know our performance. So anyways, so I start the truck back up and I'm hearing like this grinding noise, and I'm like, oh man, please don't tell me it's my fucking transmission or something serious. So I'm like, I shut truck back off. I look under the hood, don't see anything broken, nothing leaking. I'm like, that's odd. I mean, it's a significant noise. So I'm like, and it's funny that I say this because when I first got my CDL, my trainer, Larry Tolbert, I'll never forget this guy. He had told me, because he wanted me to drive barefoot, and I told him, I said, dude, I'm not really comfortable with that. He drove barefoot, like in his socks. And I said, I can't. I was a rookie at the time. I guess we're all rookies in life every single day. I mean, you learn something new every single day. So, but I told him, I'm just not comfortable with that. And this guy tells me, Kurt, you have to be one with the truck. Oh, look at, my wife got me this DD-214 alumni shirt. If you're not military, DD-14 is your diploma for honorably discharging out of the military. Anyways, baby, I love this shirt. And anyways, hi, Pastor Rick. Hi, my brother Stevie K, my brother Jason Gilbert, my brother Tim Monroe, Bob Crum, my mom, of course, my baby girl, of course, and anybody else, Chinatown or Chi-Town, and just a bunch of other people. If I didn't mention, I'm really sorry. But I really appreciate you guys subscribing and definitely watching my videos, because we're family, right? So anyways, I love all you guys. I love this t-shirt, but I need to get some more because this one's got a stain I cannot get out of it, so I need to get a few more. And it's a comfortable, really well-made t-shirt. So, I check everything and I start the truck back up and the noise is still there. I'm like, well, I gotta go. I gotta go. Now I gotta try to deliver this load. So I email the Phoenix broker and tell him, Sean, dude, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. And he was totally cool with it. I'm like, I totally screwed the pooch here, man. And he was so cool. But now I'm going to try to deliver this load the next day, which is yesterday, Friday. Today is Saturday, the 13th, March 13th. So, so now I'm going to try to boogie through the night if I can and try to make this delivery on Friday. So I not only just have to disappoint one broker, not two brokers. So I start the truck up and the noise is still there and I'm like, I got to go. So I start climbing gears and all of a sudden I start smelling, like a burning rubber smell. Excuse me while I take a drink of my weak ass coffee. Not only is this place a shithole with a small ass shower, like you're in the, like it's literally like a little towel closet, like my elbows were literally bumping the walls of the shower. So let me take a sip of my weak ass coffee. Excuse me, sorry. So I start smelling this burning rubber smell. And I'm like, holy shit, man. So I pull over and I pop the hood, and because I could smell it outside the truck, it's pretty significant. Pop the hood, and my alternator is freaking smoking really bad. I burnt out my alternator. So I'm like, son of a bitch. So now I'm like, oh man. I did a video on when I replaced the pulley in my trailer. I'll show you guys. I popped the hood just so I can show you guys. I had replaced this pulley right here when I was on the road. Obviously, this is a new alternator now. But I replaced that pulley on the road. That pulley went and my whole serpentine belt blew off the truck. So you can still drive the truck, but your alternator is not going to be charging your batteries. So I happen to be on Highway 95 going towards Vegas, and I did a video I replaced that at a truck stop. So anyways, it was nighttime, and I was crawling this big ass hill in Caliente, Nevada, and that's when the pulley went. So I was able to keep driving, but I knew nighttime was coming. So I was like, man, I'm going to be losing my lights here. So I had to shut down and kept the truck idle, and I made it to Vegas during the day, blah, blah, blah. So now I got no alternator. I checked my volts on my truck on the voltage gauge, and every vehicle has a voltage gauge. If you don't know that, you should look at your dash on your car or your truck. And in a semi, you are sitting around 13.7-ish volts. That means you're getting a good charge on your batteries, and your batteries are good as well. But I was at about just over 12. So if this happens to you and you're a truck driver, immediately cut off all your non-essentials. Your battery chargers. Like I immediately turned off my my power inverter for my fridge and my microwave. So I shut all that off. If you have heat or air conditioning going, you got to shut that off because that's going to drain your battery quick. Anything that requires power, you need to shut that off immediately. Try not to use your windshield wipers. Use your lights only if it's like dark. So anyways, so you don't drain your batteries. And so now I'm like, you got to be shitting me. So I'm near Salida, Colorado now, and I'm checking all these automotive places and roadside service places. Nobody works on semis there, and nobody has an alternator. They say it's 3 to 4 days to get one in. I'm like, I got to roll. So I know that I'm pretty good because it's not dark. It's probably 3 o'clock-ish. But I know I only have a few hours to try to get to a bigger city, because like I'm literally almost in the middle of nowhere. Salida is a very, very small town in the middle of nowhere. So I'm like, I got to roll up to a bigger city, near Grand Junction, Colorado, Montrose, whatever. So I'm rolling, and I'm like, and I'm desperately looking for a truck stop. There's not a truck stop. So I'm like, man, I might just have enough fuel to make it to Montrose, because that's where I'm at right now, Montrose, Colorado. And I know they have a couple truck stops here. And so now I'm going up in the Rockies, and I got no cell service. Barely any service. In the high ground, yeah. In the low ground, no, I have no service at all. So it's amazing how reliant we are on our communication devices. So I'm able to hit the high ground, and I'm Googling truck repair places or roadside service in Montrose or near Montrose, Colorado. And some are popping up, but they're all closed. So I'm like, fuck, man, I gotta try to make it to Montrose. So now I'm climbing a lot of hills up and down, and I'm hauling ass. I'm doing, probably 70 on a 2-lane and a 65, which isn't too bad, but I got a lot of weight, so I'm like, yeah, I gotta hit the brakes, it's dangerous. But I also gotta try to get to Montrose before dark, or I have to use my lights as little as possible so I don't drain the shit out of my batteries. Because even then, if I replace the alternator, once I shut the truck off, when I replace the alternator, it may not start back up because the lights have drained all my batteries. So there's 4 batteries in a semi as well. A lot of people don't know that. So anyways, I start climbing another hill, and it's starting to get dark. So I'm like, well, fuck, I got to use my lights. But I'm only I'm like 35 miles from Montrose, is according to because now I'm smart and I put my trucker's GPS on. And it tells me I'm like 35 miles to this one right turn, and then the truck stops are right there. So I'm like, I got to make this, man. I don't. I'm climbing this hill, and the truck starts fucking jumping and putting, blowing white smoke, and I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. So I was just, because I was climbing this hill, and it was a 2-lane, so I'm in the right lane slow so people can pass me. Typically in the mountains, whenever you're going up a hill, you'll have 2 lanes so the truck stays in the right, typically. But there was a lot of points where I was climbing, there was only 2 lanes, so I had a whole fucking, like a half a mile of cars behind me. So anyways, so I'm just coming out of that 2-lane to go into a 1-lane to start climbing up even more. And that's when the truck starts jumping and putting, and I'm like, oh my God, no way. So I'm past this area now where I'm actually in the 1-lane, so I just put the truck in neutral and I coast back down, and she dies. So I got like 4 or 5 gallons of diesel fuel that I keep in jugs when I change my fuel filters. So I had 4.5 left, so I dump them all in the tank, and I'm like, really, Kurt, who are you? Who are you kidding, man? I'm in like desperation mode at this point. And I'm like, who are you kidding, dude? You're not going to get to Montrose 35 miles on 4 gallons of fuel, especially when you got more hills to climb. But I'm in desperation mode. So the truck just doesn't start even on the 4 gallons. I'm like, I at least tried, right? You know what's the old saying? I'd rather try and fail than fail to try. So now I'm like, you got to be shitting me. So I jump on my phone, no service. No service whatsoever. So I'm like, you got to be kidding me, dude. You got to be fucking kidding me. Now it's dark. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I literally climbed up. If you open it, my truck's dirty. Sorry, that place I picked up in an alley was filthy over there. Big all mud all over the place. If you open up the headache rack door, there's a shelf in there. So when I open that up, I can actually stand on my deck and put my foot on the shelf and then climb up on top of my headache rack. So that's what I had to do to get service. I literally climbed up onto my headache rack to get service to my wife. And I called her and I said, baby, and she answered, I'm like, listen, I can't, in case I lose you, tell her the situation. So she jumps on the horn. I got the best wife on the planet, man. Dude, I got the best mom, the best wife. I got the best friends. I'm very blessed. So I'm standing up, and it's getting cold, and I got winter gear and shit, of course. So I'm not stressing. I got food and water. I'm not worried about that. So she copies down. I tell her, listen, I'm on Highway 50. I'm about 34 miles east of Montrose, Colorado. I'm facing west. Start calling some places. Like now I'm literally in the middle of nowhere. And so she's calling places, and they're like, good luck getting somebody out there. First off, it's after hours. Second off, you're in the middle of nowhere. Good luck. And but my wife, being the person she is, she's like my mom, very, very persistent at things. And so anyways, she finally reaches somebody. One place was $185 an hour. This place was Boys Diesel out of Grand Junction. Great people, man. They juiced us, but you're gonna get juiced. So anyways, so now I can text her. I can't really call her. I'm like, I'll just text because I don't want to, try to call and get all this gurgle bullshit. So so we're texting back and forth, and then this place they're not coming. Then they're like, is he off the road? Blah blah blah, which I was. Then she called the tow place. They're like, we're not fuel jockeys or whatever. We'll just tow them out of there. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That's gonna be like $2,000 minimum to tow me from in the middle of there over here to Montrose to a truck stop to get fuel. Yeah, that's crazy. And I kind of figured it was gonna be about $1,000. Excuse me. So anyways, so finally, she says, yeah, they're coming. So at around 11:30 last night, so I've been up there for about 3.5 hours maybe. I got my pistol out and shit in case fucking bear comes out or something. I got one of those really nice small high grade tack flashlights. I mean, it was pricey, but it works very nice. So I'm looking out. I'm not trying to push these people because they're doing us a solid by even coming out from Grand Junction, which was about 70 or 80 miles, so it's one way. And then so on a roadside service, they're going to charge you from where they initially start to where you are, and then they're going to charge you from where you are back to their place. So you're going to get charged for that. So they brought out the young man finally came out around 12:30, and they had an alternator, and I was super stoked on that. So I mean, I knew we were going to get juice because of the alternator itself. And that's why we have a shop, because you can do this shit yourself. Of course, this wouldn't happen at the shop. Of course, it's got to happen on the road in the fucking middle of nowhere. But it was, regardless, I ran out of fuel. But it ended up being more because of the alternator. The alternator was like $600 just for the price of the alternator. And then, of course, the 2 hours for the trip charge. And then I'm sure you probably get charged at least an hour or two for the guy being there at $120 an hour. Plus he brought 15 gallons of fuel. So I'll tell you how fast a semi will go through fuel climbing in the Rockies. So we put 15 gallons in, and when I got to this truck stop last night at this Exxon, actually early this morning, probably about maybe 1 o'clock, 1:30, well, 1:30 in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And it was closed. It opens at 5. It's not a 24-hour. But they had a Maverick, so this is also another funny part of the story. So the young man follows me here so I can pay him with an EFS check through our factoring company. And that's also another reason why it's nice to have a factor company, because you can cut checks off of your fuel account, which is nice. So, and if you don't know what a factor company is, if you're not trucking, so if we deliver a load and I have my paperwork, or drivers have their paperwork in before noon, we use Triumph Business Capital out of Coppell, Texas, and they charge us 4%. So if we have our load delivered and our paperwork processed through their website, we will get paid by the end of the business day, and then the money goes in a fuel account, so you always have fuel, and then you can cut EFS checks and deposit them into your bank account. And that's just for people that want to be owner ops. So anyways, that's also nice, so you can cut EFS checks. So I know I'm totally in and out of stories, but so I'm sitting here. I cut the kid, a young man, an EFS check, give him a little tip, and because he was after hours, he said he works during the day, and then they all go on call. So the dude came out of, crawled out of bed or cut his own sleep to come and save my dumb ass. So you got to be appreciative towards that, right? So anyways, so this place is closed. I got to get fuel because I don't want to run out again, right? So what's the old saying? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So, but they have a Mavericks just down the street. Now, I Googled Mavericks in Montrose, Colorado, and they didn't, the site of the store with the pictures and the photos came up, but no fucking phone number. Believe that. It's a share this, do that, but no phone number. So I'm literally trying, because people don't realize when you're in a semi, it's a process to pull this thing in somewhere and try to get out. If you pull in, you're going to have to get out. So people don't realize it's a process when you pull into a place with a semi. So you better do your due diligence, like I should have with my fuel. And going to the wrong fucking place 500 miles. So, uh, I want to make sure that this place is a truck stop because it's brand new and it doesn't come up on the local truck stops. There was only this one and 2 other ones, but Mavericks was not one. It's very new, like this last January or something. So, anyways, I want to find out this, make sure it's a truck stop, because if I pull in, I may not be able to get out. So I'm trying to get a hold of this place. I can't get a fucking phone number. So I call the corporate. They don't know, blah, blah, blah. So finally, I'm like, I got to get fuel. So I can't get it here because their pumps are closed, not 24 hours. So I do shoot over to Mavericks, and it is a truck stop. So that's awesome. And this place was $3.39 a gallon. The other place was, the Mavericks is $3.09 a gallon. So 30 cents at 190 gallons, whatever. That's a significant savings. 60, 70 bucks, whatever. So I'm all stoked. I'm like, yeah, I'm off the hill. I'm going to take a Sherdamer. I'm going to, I'll be able to sleep with my CPAP mask. I'll have, power, blah, blah, blah. I'm saving, 50, 60 bucks, blah, blah, blah. So for some reason, there are certain fuel nozzles, when you press the nozzle on your thing and you click that little button so it stays, so the fuel keeps coming out. So it happened on this side. That's why my truck's all fucked up, and I got fuel right there. And because the spring broke in here, I keep closed with a hex nut. But anyways, when I take, can you guys see that? Yeah. So when I flop this down and undo my fuel cap, I put the nozzle in there, and this door comes down. Well, the nozzle sits on that door, and there's the nozzle on the fuel handle has a little ridge on it, so it kind of, gravity brings it down, and that little lip, that little ridge, kind of rests inside your tank, so it doesn't fall out. For some reason, this one had one, and this has happened a few other times, but not as bad. I was able to catch it right away. So I go and I put the driver's side nozzle in, go over to the passenger side, put the passenger nozzle in. Tanks are full. I'm happy. I come around to the driver's side, and I'm standing literally right next to the hose, right by the thing. And I kind of look around, and all of a sudden I hear boom, and the fucking nozzle fell out of the tank and hits the ground, and fuel spraying everywhere. Fucking everywhere. I mean, I was able to grab it, but I'm doused with fuel. I got the shit in my mouth. It's on my face. It's everywhere. On my shoes, all on the side of the truck. Huge pool on the ground. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. You gotta be kidding me. Anyways, I cleaned it all up and everything was good. Well, except for the thing on the ground. They didn't have any oil dry. I remember when my sister-in-law, Simone, I came home from the shop one day. She'd come over to our place. She was in from town because they lived down in Arizona, her and Tim. And I came in late, and she was laying on our couch, and they were just about to go to bed. And Mr. Clyde comes running up, and he wants to say, I'm like, oh, no, Daddy's dirty right now. I don't want to get you dirty. She goes, oh, my God, you smell like diesel. So because I was working at the shop and on my compressor. And if she would have smelled me yesterday, she would have been like, holy shit, man, you smell like a fuel pump. So anyways, I wasn't able to deliver this load yesterday. So the broker was cool, told him what happened. I told him, hey man, I had my wife send him an email because I wasn't able to because of the no service. And he was cool. I just told him, I told her to just tell him the truth. I mixed up the address, and I'm a dumbass. And so he said, hey, no worries, just deliver it on Monday. Everything was cool. So it all worked out in the end. And but it was a little spooky up there in the Rockies last night. Pitch dark, and not knowing if somebody's coming out to save your ass. I'll tell you one thing, man. I won't make that mistake again. That was really dumb. That was really, really, really dumb. And another thing on this trip, I cracked my I didn't crack it. Somebody else cracked it. A passing opposite vehicle truck cracked my damn windshield. And we just put that windshield in. I'll sit inside. We just put that windshield in when I was on the road in Utah. I don't know, 5 months ago, something like that. There was it was a little Chinaman, and he was driving around the lot, and he was a windshield guy. So these guys always come up and they give you their business cards or whatever. And so I told my wife, I was like, guy rolled up on me at a truck stop. He said 150, I said 130, he said 140, I said get it done. That's my little country song for the Chinaman that put my windshield in. But anyway, so now we got to do a new windshield. So 2 weeks, and you know we do very well in trucking, so I can't complain. But for those of you people out there that want to be an owner op, man, when you're a company driver, you have worries because you're a slave at the end of the day. I would rather flat out own our stuff instead of slave another piece of equipment for somebody else. At the end of the day, it's ours and not somebody else's. But it does come at a lot of sacrifice. You have to have a strong wife or a strong significant other, and because you got to have that support at home. But as far as those people that want to be an owner op, oh, it's so glorious and this and that. Yeah, it's great. I love my job, man. I mean, shit, I love it. And I was telling Sarah, I really got to stop pushing myself as much as I do, but I kind of like the thrill. And I know it sounds, but I'm a sick person anyways, but it does sound sick. Like I enjoy the thrill, but it gets very tiring, man. It's physically and mentally exhausting. Trucking, it truly is. And I'm sure there's going to be trucker people watching this because I'm gonna title the video "Ran Out of Fuel in the Middle of Nowhere." So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of truckers that watch this. But anyways, if anybody ever wants to call me to help, don't take my advice on keeping fuel in your truck. But I got my authority in 2014, and literally nobody helped me get my authority. My mom was there to help me take care of my books and stuff when I was on the road, and for me and some other drivers, I had some owner ops leased on, and my cousin Dan was driving a hot shot for us. But she was a tremendous amount of help. But as far as actually getting my authority, nobody helped me. It was all trial and error, man. So if you guys I had a guy actually two guys actually call me. One was from Missouri and one was from Pennsylvania, and had asked me, because I leave my number on the videos, 414-477-7845 is my cell, 414-477-7845, and my email is time machine transport, the number 1 at gmail.com. So but they actually had some legit questions, like, hey man, I really appreciate your video, blah blah blah, and it was on an oversized video that I did, and they were asking on how to get their authority, and how would you quote this rate for this load or whatever the case is. So it was flattering on my end, and they were very, very appreciative. But if you guys have any questions on how to get your own authority, give me a call, man, or email me. I'm down to help anybody, man. The one guy, I think his name was Josh, who's from Missouri. He had said that I've been trying to talk to old timers at truck, and I'm not an old timer. I mean, I'm an old guy, but I'm not an old timer in trucking. I was a general contractor for many years. Had, at the height of real estate, we had 15 guys and 3 trucks. And then the market crashed, and I literally lost everything. If it wasn't for my mom's house, I probably would have been homeless because I crashed on her couch. But anyway, so the point being, so I got my CDL in 2008, and I got my authority in 2014. So, and if it wasn't for my wife, we wouldn't have what we have today. So, so if and my mom for that matter. So, you're going to rely on people when you have your own truck or trucks or your own office or your own shop, whatever. You're going to need other people because it's a lot of work, man. But anyways, so on the trucking note, if people think like, oh yeah, I want to get my own truck, my own trailer, and I want to be an owner op, or I want to get my own authority. Listen, it is glorious. It's also very terrifying at times. Very intimidating at times, and very overwhelming at times, because when you're just not just, but if you're a driver and like I said, I mean, like, oh, you're just a driver, because being just a driver is you're still out there on the road, just cleaning off my. I always clean my truck after my shirt. I always bring a shit ton of water out, and I always keep a clean house. So, but my steering wheel's a little dirty. But so anyways, and I really hate that steering wheel. I'm gonna change it out. I'm not a fan of it. But when you're a driver for a company, you don't have to worry about like where you're stopping at for fuel. I'm always looking at fuel prices and remembering or trying to remember where the cheapest fuel places are. Drivers that drive for companies, they're not concerned with that because they're not paying for the fuel. So they'll the larger chains, the TAs, the Petros, the Flying J's, the Pilots, the Loves, man, they gouge you on everything. I mean, their fuel prices are like, sometimes even 70 cents higher per gallon. Well, as an owner-op, you're going to have to keep that in mind because you're paying for the fuel now. So now you're going to try to want to budget your fuel, and we're not governed, so we hammer down. So I do go through a lot of fuel. It was funny. I had a guy tell me one time on the CB, he's like, man, dude, you are flying. I'm like, yeah, man. I said, I stay hammered down. And I said, he goes, man, that's got to cost you a fortune. I said, no. I said, actually, my wife pays for my fuel. She said, as long as I stay out on the road, she'll pay for my fuel. I said, so I always hammer down. So, and of course, my wife's not a bitch, but on the CB, we talk shit. I said, so I always hammer down, man, so that bitch is going to go broke. Started laughing. Anyways, it's a CB joke. My wife is not a bitch. She's the best thing ever. But anyway, so you're going to have to keep your eye on fuel prices, obviously. So typically what I do is I'll typically get 50 gallons at a big chain truck stop just so I can catch a free Sure. But even like this one here was $10. I'm not, if I stop at one of the big chain truck stops, I'm going to spend way more than $10 in fuel just to get a free shower. So it doesn't make any sense to me. And I've, to be honest, I went a week without a shower twice now. And I'm not a dirty ass dude. I mean, my nickname's Dirty Curdy, but it's not because of hygiene. I'm very, very ashamed of myself. But I was rolling hard and whatever. But yeah, so the shower this morning was phenomenal. So, but anyway, so when you are out there on your own in an owner op, now you got your authority price you got to do to open your authority. You have to get incorporated or an LLC. So that's going to cost you money. You got to do your quarterly IFTA. You got to do your yearly apportion plate. You got to do your HVUT tax. You have to get annual inspections on your truck and your trailer. You have to keep good equipment. Something goes down on the road, i.e. run out of fuel or your alternator goes bad, you're going to get juiced. So the total damages yesterday were $1,222.20, which wasn't too bad. I mean, the guy told me I was going to be shit in the water anyways with that alternator the way it was. So regardless, and nobody had a fucking alternator anywhere, not even in Montrose. I mean, nobody had an alternator for a Detroit 60 series, a 2001 Century, Freightliner Century class. Nobody had anywhere. I was shocked, like truly shocked. I couldn't believe it. So anyways, regardless, I was going to get juiced on that. So I guess if you put you got to figure it's probably 3 to 4 hours at $120 an hour, plus 15 gallons of fuel, plus, and they're going to make money on the fuel, I'm sure. So they're probably going to charge you $4 a gallon, and then a $600 alternator, whatever. So you're going to get juice. Like I said, I thought about $1,000, and I was a little off. But all that aside, when you're an owner op, that's all on you, man. Your broker's not going to cover that. And then you got your monthly insurance, and your monthly insurance. I mean, we knock on wood. We've been blessed that way. And I mean, I've heard of people paying up to $2,200 a month for a brand new authority insurance. $2,200 a month for one truck, one trailer. And my buddy AB, he told me down in Florida, his buddy, I don't know this for a fact, but his buddy's paying little over $2,800 a month for fucking cargo insurance. And we carry it. I mean, we're probably about 800. right around 800 a truck and trailer setup. So that's not bad. But that's a $250,000 cargo insurance, which even some of the big companies don't carry that. There was with our insurance company, we have Great West Casualty, I think it is, which is like the Rolls Royce of insurance companies, which is good for us. But that's with the $250,000 cargo. A lot of people only carry about 100,000 cargo, but the price difference for us for 100,000 to 250 really wasn't that substantial. $50, I think, extra a month or whatever. But a lot of the freight that we haul is 100,000 and plus. So if you don't have 100,000, you're gonna have to go what's called a rider. So you're gonna be constantly calling your agent, and they're gonna juice you on the rider for that load. So do yourself some due diligence and carry at least 175 up to 250. But like I said, not even some of the big companies carry it, but a lot of the large companies are self-insured as well. So, and like I said, this is probably not very thrilling for anybody that's not interested in trucking. But there's a lot of cost in trucking, I mean, shit, that mattress. I got a really super nice mattress. I mean, it's one of those foam like memory ones. I think my wife paid like $800 for that just for that little ass mattress. So if you want a power inverter, if you want a fridge, if you want a microwave, I mean, there's so much stuff in trucking. People just, when you see trucks going on the road, nobody even thinks. I didn't even think twice on the astronomical amounts of money that truckers get juiced every day, every month, every year. I mean, it is, and every time I fill up now, I want to punch Joe Biden in his fucking cocksucker. I swear to God. I mean, you can't blame Biden for that. Well, everybody blamed Trump for everything. Trump was the bad man on everything. So why can't we blame Biden on everything? Every time I fill up, I would just want to punch him right in his face. But anyways, I'm venting. But so, and the loads, they're not paying that much more now because fuel prices are going higher, and they're only going to get higher, unfortunately. So, like I said, I know this probably isn't very thrilling for people that don't understand trucking, but there's a lot of mental anxiety that goes into this job. Well, and especially if you have a shop, and we had two mechanics, and my brother Cody. I'm sure Cody Alexander might be watching this. What's up, brother? And I had Cody and Greg as two mechanics at the same time at our shop. Cody was fucking amazing. I really was really heartbroken when he had quit. But Greg, on the other hand, piece of garbage. And then we had Chris Edgerton, another piece of garbage. Another dude, Cody something or other. He was the expired Cody before the good Cody. He was a piece of garbage. The guy Ron, he was a piece of trash. We were when you're, that shop was costing us $7,000 a month. with two guys. Actually, I think it was more than that. I think it was 3,200 every 2 weeks. So $6,400 a month. So that shop was probably close to $10,000 a month is what we were spending for the rental, for the insurance, for the utilities, for two mechanics, tools. It was expensive. So it was kind of a godsend that both of those guys quit. The other ones all got fired. But so now, Sarah and I just talked and said, do we really need a full-time mechanic? I mean, even the ones we had, besides Cody, even the ones we didn't have didn't fucking work. You had to babysit them all the time. But anyway, so now, again, Kurt, get to the point. So now, so the point being is, if you want to be an owner-op, you better have a thick bank account, or you better run as hard as you possibly can to get a thick bank account, because this shit is expensive. Tires. Shit, just for two brand new steer tires cost me $1,600. Batteries, 4 batteries at one time, that could be $800. The shit, it just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. But that's what I signed up to do, and that's what I love about it. That's the thrill. So, and that's why I do run hard or whatever. But anyway, so those of you that want to become an owner-op, hell yeah, go for it, man. I don't, even on my business card, I don't do owner or president or vice president. Names are cheap. if you say you're the owner of a business or you're the president, a title is cheap. I mean, so on my business card, I have operations manager, because that's essentially what I am. So now, but these people, oh yeah, I own my own business. Dude, you don't own shit. Come on, man. I mean, we have a few trucks, few trailers, we have a shit ton of tools, this, that, everything else, a tow unit. We don't own shit. We have stuff. We don't, but we're just not those people. So if you're into the whole thing, yeah, go to be self-employed, man. Don't try not to work for the man. Try to do your own thing, man. I mean, try to go forth. Try to. I have 2 tattoos on my calves that my son did, Ace, and one says "Strive for magnificent, settle for significant," and the other says, "If I can defeat my demons, I'll be the hero of my life." So. Strive for that magnificent, man. Go for the gusto, man. Do what you got to do. Go, strive to get your own your own little American dream and your own little business or whatever the case is. But also be prepared for the giant risk you are taking and the costs that come with that. So, anyways, I just now I'm just babbling, but it was very, very, very. It's been a very interesting 24 hours. We'll just put it that way. So, and I'm very transparent. We're all human at the end of the day. We all have flaws. Yesterday was a major, major flaw. Gigantic, huge. But it was good. It was great training at the end of the day. And like my wife says, I'm the most positive person on the planet. I mean, I'm a screw up at the end of the day, just like anybody else. But I tell people, if you can't find a positive out of a negative, you're not searching hard enough. Yesterday's positive was it was great training, and it was very humbling also, and it was just really great training and the what not to do. So it was a great learning. Learning experience. I've never been stuck out in the middle of nowhere. Feeling helpless and not having any cell service. So it was very very powerful. We'll just say it that way. Very powerful. And here's another thing. So, I was, and of course I'm going to put it on, God, why are you doing this to me? What did I do that was so bad? Blah, blah, blah. And I even helped this, she was a large, big girl. I showed my wife a picture. I thought it was a dude at first when we loaded over in Lovell, Wyoming. And of course, we have to tarp loads, but they had this tarping system. It's a safety rig. There's a long plank walkway next. You park right next to it with your flatbed, and then they have a sky system with a leash, and it's got a roller on it with a harness attached to it. So if you fell, you wouldn't kill yourself. With this girl, she couldn't put the straps around her legs, and she was a big girl. But anyway, so when I pulled in, she had already been loaded and already had her tarps, and she was right where she was when I came back out 2.5 hours later after they finally loaded me. And she only had one back tarp on. Now, she runs 3-piece tarps because they're really light, but I could see she only had the chest part mounted on her, and she had a Marlboro in her mouth and her fucking headset on. She wasn't very thrilled to be tarping, and there's no way she was. I mean, she threw the back one on because it was the easiest, but she was going to, and these rolls are huge. This is going up to a gold mine, like I said, and they're huge rolls of plastic, and they actually go up underneath another, so these are laid down first, and then a rubber membrane, and then they put all these chemicals in these pools, so this prevents it from seeping into the ground. This is like a safety to the membrane. Anyway, so I don't know why they wanted tarp, because it sits outside anyways, but whatever. It's their world. We're just passing through. So I hurry up and throw my 2 8-footers on, which are heavy as shit. So I already have them thrown on, and I'm going to go ahead and start bungeeing down my tarps, and I look and I see her. She's just, I'm like, damn it. So I fucking go over and hey, I said, let me go ahead and put these other 2 tarps on for you. And she looks up at me, and she's tying her rope, and she's got a Marlboro hanging out of her mouth and her headset. Because she's very important, she can't miss a call. And she's like, oh, I really appreciate that. I'm like, well, you've been here for a while. I'm sure you want to get out of here tonight. I said, so let me throw these for you. So she accepted, and I went up there and threw down the thing. But as I'm asking God, which it wasn't God's fault, it's my fault. I own it at the end of the day, man. I'm the dumpski that did it. But of course, in my I guess in my panic, and I want to blame somebody. Kurt Sabella can't be blamed. I mean, ain't my fault. Ain't my fault. Yeah, it is my fault. But anyway, so I'm like, I even helped this. I didn't say this, but I'm thinking I even helped this big girl. I showed a sign of greatness or grace, and what, don't I get a pass? So God ain't gonna help you, man. That's not God's fault. God is great, man. But at the end of the day, we should all be helping out our brother and sister, and man. So love thy neighbor, man. That's what my pop Larry, my stepdad, he says he feels that one of the most important commandment is love thy neighbor. If you love thy neighbor, you won't screw up anything, because you love your neighbor, and everything you do is going to be great because you love your neighbor. You're not going to do anything. So that's his point on it. Hey, whatever, man. But anyways, now I'm definitely just babbling. But yeah, I went there and even asked God, why are you doing this? I was desperate, man. I was in panic mode yesterday. So not like, oh my God, I'm not panic mode like if the apocalypse came or doomsday was here and you put that last morsel of food in your mouth, and as you're chewing it, you're going, we're all gonna fucking die. No, not that kind of panic. Just I was in panic mode because I realized that somebody looking at me. Oh no, it was a head on or that Jeep right there. I was like, I thought somebody was staring at me. I was like, what are you doing staring at me, you weirdo? But it's just a seat, a headrest. So anyways, so yeah, so I was it was very humbling. So anyways, I hope this video finds you well. I hope it was entertaining. And like I said, I'm very transparent. I'm not perfect, man. I don't, and people, I've been called egotistical or whatever. I don't think I am, but hey, whatever. I'm a confident person. I don't let shit really bother me too much. And at the end of the day, and that's something about truck driving, that's also another thrilling part, but very, very frightening at times and intimidating, is like what happened last night. You're the only person. Thank God for my wife, or somebody I could actually turn to. If it weren't for my wife, I don't know what I would have did, to be honest. Maybe I could have called another brother or something and been like, hey man, can you help me out here? I'm in a fucking bind. Can you Google this and find out? Because I didn't have the service to do that. So thank God for it. But at the end of the day, like I said, in trucking, you really need somebody. And I have my mom and I have my wife and so on and so on. But anyway, so thank God for them. But yeah, I was in panic mode, and anyway, so like I said, it's thrilling, but it's also very terrifying when you're out in these trucks and you're the only person, unless you drive teams, which I did for a little while, which is I can't do that. And you have to be very comfortable with yourself. But at the end of the day, me, I'm the only person that can really figure out what's going to happen at that point. And it's thrilling, but it's all, like I said, it's also very terrifying and intimidating, that you have to come up with a plan. So, and my wife figured it out and everything turned out great. So anyways, I hope you found the video, or I hope you found it entertaining, and I hope it made you laugh a little bit. But don't run out of fuel in the middle of nowhere, guys. And I hope this video finds you well. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Ciao.